Good afternoon. Welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ogochkuka Ona, and we are transmitting live from Abuja. You're welcome. The federal government, through the Job Creation and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Secretariat of the Vice President, has signed a partnership with a music icon, Innocent Idibia, popularly known as Two-Face, to seek public support for the MSMEs sector. The partnership agreement was signed by Two-Face and Tola Adekunle Johnson, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Job Creation and MSMEs, as the coming on board of Two-Face as a Job Creation and MSMEs brand ambassador would promote ideas and initiatives under the National MSMEs Awards. Innocent Idibia appreciated President Tinubu's administration for its support to the youths and small businesses, promising to create more awareness in the country on MSMEs, especially among the youths.
And in trying to consistently promote this, we've looked at areas that are of interest to some of our target audience, and you will agree with me that is the entertainment or creative industry. And today, we will be unveiling who I regard as an icon, a legend in the game. Of course, we've been friends for a long time, but in his rights, he's a legend.
Most of our youth today, there's so many things going on that they can easily just be deviated from following the right positive trajectory of life. But with this, it's people might even underestimate the power and the value that this will bring, to both the individuals and their communities and then the country as a whole. So for me, I really commend this initiative. I commend the show of concern and the show of support from government towards young people.
The stakeholders promised more partners from the private sector and encouraged commitments to empower the youths in the area of job creation. Magistrate Court of the Federal Capital Territory sitting in Kuje has adjourned to the 22nd of November 2024 for the consideration of a motion on notice filed by the Defense Counsel in the alleged assault and threat to life charges preferred against Alex Ikweche, a member of the House of Representatives, by the Inspector General of Police. Chukunonso Nwabweze reports.
At the resumed hearing of the case, counsel to the defendant, Odi Ajike, sought the leave of the court to move a motion on notice, which he said had been served on the prosecution. In his objection, the prosecution counsel, Ibrahim Mohammed, said although his attention was drawn to a service copy of the alleged motion in the court file, he was yet to be duly served. He therefore prayed the court for time to be served properly to enable him respond to the said motion adequately. Without any objection from the defense counsel, Senior Magistrate Abubakar Umar adjourned the case to 22nd of November 2024 for the defense counsel to move the motion. He, however, reminded counsels that there will be no room for longer adjournments in the matter in order to meet up with the 180 days adjudication period in criminal matters as provided for in the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. Alex Ikweche is standing trial over allegations of assault and threat to life of an Uber driver preferred against him by the Inspector General of Police on behalf of the federal government. The defendant, who was in court for the day's proceedings, had earlier pleaded not guilty to the charges. Issues contained in the motion sought to be moved by the defense counsel were not made known. Chukunonso Nwabweze, NTA News.
Another set of 252 women from across the country have been trained and empowered by the National Information Technology Development Agency in collaboration with Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI. While presenting empowerment items to the beneficiaries, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, describes the feat as another significant leap in the efforts of the current administration to advance gender equity, leveraging technology. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
It was a partnership born out of shared vision, which is to empower women and give them more room to play in the digital space. The vision drew its first breath on August 21, 2023, when a set of 35 beneficiaries drawn from the FCT underwent a 5-day ICT training with Renewed Hope Initiative, providing the platform and beneficiaries, while the National Information Technology Development Agency, NTA, offers logistics and training. Today, on the second-year anniversary of this strategic collaboration, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, is pleased to see the growth of the program, which now has 40 women per geopolitical zone, embarking on the same capacity-building training aimed at transforming their communities.
These women are now set to go out into the world to put these new skills to use and to inspire and guide other young women. And I'm so glad hearing your testimonies today that you all are set to empower others, and that is the message. I look forward to the great things that all of you will accomplish in the months and years ahead. I thank the Director General of NIDA, Malam Kashifu, Inua Abdullahi, and his team for this passion and steadfast commitment to bridge Nigeria's digital divide by ensuring our women's full participation in the digital revolution through access to technology that will enable them contribute meaningfully to the economic growth and innovation.
She notes that the ultimate goal of the collaboration is to leverage technology to bridge gender gaps.
To create more diverse and inclusive tech world, we need to inspire and empower the next generation of female role models to pursue and develop their career in technology and become innovators, leaders, and entrepreneurs.
The Director General of NITA, Kachifu Inua, is upbeat about the opportunities that are now at the disposal of beneficiaries in the digital space.
This will help them to expand their businesses. This will help them to have access to education and skills online. They can work from home. They can be part of the gig economy, creating software, doing graphic designing. And if they have their own petty business, they can use the skills to expand their market.
I'm so inspired, and I pledge that
Exuding much confidence with their startup packs in hand, the beneficiaries say they are ready to impact the digital world and their communities. From the conference center of the Presidential Villa, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And although Africa celebrates successes attained through digital economy, there are suggestions that the continent should display extra quest as inclusive participation, which hinders active participation of women and the girl child remains a challenge. Advocates at one of the sessions of the 2024 African Women's Congress in Lusaka, Zambia, are recommending sensitization to promote digital literacy among women. Olusheye Adeagbo has details.
Day and age, tech is king. It brings the world to the palms.
That other women have fear.
From the explanation of Daliso Mongola, a 400-level student of political science, University of Zambia, in a particular community in his country, every woman still suffers from telephone phobia.
we need support and opportunities for us to achieve.
The peer review mechanism approach at the 2024 Africa Women Conference is insatiably looking for an antidote to address this imbalance.
We planned, as part of our project for the coming year, to have pilot digital hub for girls across African countries with implementable solutions that will have impact in development and progress of the African women and girls.
We are looking forward that it will reach out to the whole of Zimbabwe and empower not only the girls and women and also men, the less privileged.
Experts from within and outside the continent, especially women who have established their footprints in the digital space, are now giving more insights into how African women can move from these parochial mindsets.
With the right digital tools, we can dismantle this barrier.
Social media is where we can reclaim our stories and show the world who we are.
A charge has gone to delegates at Zambia 2024 AWC to return to their countries as crusaders. From Lusaka, Zambia, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA.
The role of women goes beyond the home front, and they must be given roles to help develop and secure the country as a whole. This was the consensus of the Federation of Muslim Women, FONWAN, at a special prayer assembly and thanksgiving for Dr. Ganiyat Upola's safe return after 10 months in captivity. Parental negligence was identified as one of the factors affecting insecurity in the nation. Hence, the need to include women in key decision-making levels.
In the case of our dear sister, our dear daughter, Dr. Ganiyat Upola, who was in captivity for 10 full months and was released a few days ago. This is the reason why we thought we should come together to thank Allah.
FONWAN is agents of peace anywhere we are. Let us try to talk to our people. Let us try to make things, lectures, talks, dialogues that will make our people to change from good to bad.
Promoting community engagement in vigilance. Bring your children. Can we go to the neighbor and bring ourselves together? Let us go into the community to talk vigilance. When you see something, say something. Be bold enough to say what you see.
The group expressed support for government's developmental efforts and fight against insecurity in the country. Now, Niger state government is prioritizing electricity power supply by overhauling 600 transformers to be redistributed across the 25 local government areas of the state. Governor Mohammed Umar Bago, who disclosed this during the flag-off of an initiative tagged Bago Electrifying Niger Agenda, said the effort is aimed at stimulating socio-economic development of the state. We now join Hussein Amusa for that report.
Out of the 600 transformers of various capacities earmarked to be overhauled, 60 have already been fixed and are expected to be distributed to communities across the state. Similarly, arrangements have also been concluded to procure 200 additional new transformers, while a substation is under construction at Lapai, among other electrification projects to boost power supply and improve the livelihood of the citizens. So far, about 2 billion naira has also been appropriated to improve facilities in the power sector, even as efforts are being made to enhance effective power supply.
I am proud to say Niger State is not indebted to AEDs. We have invested heavily in making sure that our people enjoy electricity supply.
So far, about 2 billion naira has been designated to improve facilities in the power sector, even as efforts are being made to enhance effective power supply. Emena Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Kwara State University has broken a new ground with a successful conversion of a petrol engine vehicle to a compressed natural gas, which was done by a team of engineers of the university. Aisha Abubakar tells us more about the technological breakthrough which aligns with the federal government's initiative to reducing over-reliance on fossil fuel through the adoption of cleaner energy.
The government's drive of diversifying from petrol to compressed natural gas CNG-powered vehicles is beginning to gain traction in Kwara State through the efforts of engineers at the Kwara State University, Malete, although the university sometimes last year successfully converted 3 vehicles to electric-driven ones. It has gone a step further by converting another automobile to CNG-powered vehicle. Abdulaziz Akande is one of the brains behind this great innovation that is expected to reduce Nigeria's over-reliance on fossil fuel.
You are having not even close to a 8% savings when you are using CNG compared to when you are using petrol. While the electric vehicle, on the other hand, is much more better. It's just it is a bit more expensive compared to the normal internal combustion engine. Because with electric, it's a completely renewable form of energy whereby you just plug and charge, and when it's fully charged, you know the distance you can cover it on a single charge.
The cost of buying fuel nowadays, has gone so high, and that again, because we have to also reduce our carbon emission. So that's why we feel that to really answer that call that we are a green university, efforts should be made in that area by converting such vehicles from either petrol or diesel to either electric and also CNG.
If other engineering firms and higher institutions can take a cue from this giant stride of the Kwara State University, federal government efforts as promoting green energy for sustainable development will easily be achieved. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
And we'll now be joining Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, who is standing by in the university, to give us more details on this laudable initiative. Hello, Aisha. This must be causing a very wonderful this thing in that area. So what more can you tell us about this?
Thank you, Ogochukwu. This compressed natural gas vehicle just recently produced by Kwara State University is an addition to 4 electric vehicles built by engineers of the university sometimes last year. According to the engineers, the cost of maintaining an electric-driven vehicle and CNG vehicles is way cheaper and better than petrol engine ones. The distance a vehicle can travel on a certain amount of compressed natural gas depends on the size of the CNG tank and driving conditions. A 50-liter tank, for instance, can hold about 9 kilograms of CNG, which is equivalent to 12.5 liters of petrol. A medium-sized car with this tank can as well travel about 150 and 160 kilometers. All this, the engineers say, is a way cheaper and better than running in petrol engine vehicles. This clearly also shows, as the university since the production of electric vehicles and that of CNG has saved millions of naira in running the transportation cost of the school for the past few months. Kwara State University is one of the few universities in Nigeria that is investing highly in entrepreneurship skills, thereby helping the federal government to reduce over-dependence on petrol to the barest minimum. With all these initiatives of the Kwara State University, the federal government's drive of diversifying from over-dependence on petrol will definitely become a reality, while other higher institutions can also take a cue from it.
Okay, Aisha, thank you very much. So, what is the local content ratio and how many vehicles can the station convert in a day?
Okay, thank you. The university can convert at least 2 vehicles in a week. Reason is because there is need to dismantle vehicles and check all the necessary things in the vehicles before the vehicles can be converted to a CNG one. And the interesting aspect is that Kwara State University has signed a memorandum of understanding with 2 reputable Chinese companies to provide all the kits needed in conversion stations. Out of the 4 vehicles converted so far, 3 belong to the Kwara State government, while 1 belongs to the university.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you very much. All right. All right, back here in Abuja, there is need to equip youths with the necessary skills to discern truth from falsehood, separate fact from fiction, and engage in meaningful storytelling that can spark positive change in their communities. This was brought forward at a Democracy Radio Citizens Journalism Workshop for Nigerian students in partnership with the Center for Journalism Innovation and Development in Abuja. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The importance of citizen journalism in today's world cannot be overstated, looking at the fast-evolving media landscape. The advent in digital technology and social media has, however, democratized information, thereby giving citizens to take part in reporting news, sharing opinions, and holding institutions accountable. This workshop seeks to provide critical skills to 50 selected students from across FCT and engage them on an online safety, fact-checking methods of scientific verification, among other issues.
The skills and knowledge you will acquire from today's training will undoubtedly benefit you in many ways. First, you will gain the ability to critically evaluate news and information, a skill that is invaluable in an age of misinformation. You will also be equipped to harness the power of digital platform responsibly, ensuring that the information you share is credible, factual, and impactful.
Citizen journalism is a great topic for you to, get the insights of what you are going into, and it also provides evidence.
As a journalist, there are some limitations to the things that you can see on the internet. Sometimes your boss may be quite strict with you, but then as a citizen, you are free to say that which you want to say.
Experts believe that workshops such as these will encourage participation of young intellectuals in Nigeria's political discourse. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
There is a growing concern about refusal by some tertiary institutions of learning to recognize and place on higher level experts who excelled in various endeavors that offer themselves for employment in the academia. This is the thrust of the 29th inaugural lecture by Professor Eserinune Makati Mojaye of the Department of Mass Communication, National Open University of Nigeria. A veteran journalist who practiced for many years with the right qualification and experience, but upon employment by the university was not appropriately placed. Professor Makati spoke on deconstructing journalism practice and communication research in Nigeria, a 40-year experience.
They come to the academic space without festers and hindrances, just as veteran academics have free, unfettered acceptance into the professions if they so wish.
An inaugural lecture is a significant event in a professor's academic career at a university, where they share their research, innovation, engagements, and teaching activities with the university community and the public.
The seasoned journalist turned mass communication don says journalism and academia not two worlds apart, underscoring the need to review the criteria for assessing productivity. We'll be taking our next set of reports from our Lagos Network Center. All right, let's link up with Lagos.
Thank you, Ogo. Now, testament of enduring partnership between Nigeria and the United Kingdom through the International Organization for Cultural Relations and Educational Opportunities, the British Council, is being celebrated as it marks 8 decades of remarkable achievements in Nigeria, impacting the youth and vulnerable through innovative projects in many ways. Adiola Komi-Akere reports that the tie is founded on shared values, mutual respect, with belief of collaborating to overcome challenges.
Since coming to Nigeria in 1944, the British Council
has worked alongside the country's leaders, artists, educators, and communities to create opportunities that resonate across generations, thereby empowering millions of people with skills, education, and connections that open doors and transform lives.
Over 70% of the population in Nigeria are under the age of 30. That's a significant number. So if we're to be relevant as an organization, we have to target that youth and we have to bring in the young people for them to be able to contribute to the development of this country.
Choosing the theme, Amplifying the Voices of the Future, the British Council affirms aligns with its long-standing objective of equipping young people and its mission statement rooted in the UN SDGs.
Today we celebrate the young people who have seized the opportunities provided by the British Council to access international qualifications, enhance their capacities across sectors, and proceed to have huge impacts in their communities.
The 80th anniversary celebration had fireside chat sessions on unlocking the economic potential of young people now and in the future, as well as enhancing young voices in delivering effective and sustainable change. Nigerians are tested to being agents of that change through British Council-led programs. Young artists of the spoken word captivated the audience with their talents, while Hanefa Adam began painting and concluded before the end of the celebration to the admiration of all in less than 2 hours. The British Council, after 80 years of existence in Nigeria, remains committed to fostering deeper connection and building a future that respects cultural heritage, embracing innovation and inclusivity. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
Now, the seizure of 16 containers of illicit substances and unregistered pharmaceutical products within the space of 6 months is re-engineering enforcement strategies at the Tinkan Island port, as the Customs Service says all necessary resources, including international security partners, will be deployed to stop the trend. The Customs Area Controller, Dera Nadi, said this in Lagos just as the command hit a milestone of 1 trillion naira in revenue generation. Michael Olaleye reports.
It is the year of deepening compliance, and the mantra going forward, according to the customs at the Tinkan Island port, is reform or regrets. This is a guiding principle which by the records is influencing more traders to embrace legitimate practice, as compliance pays more than deviance. And based on the cooperation received from stakeholders, the Tinkan Island Command said it has generated close to 1 trillion and 50 billion naira from January to date.
We reward compliance. Those traders that bring in cargo and refuse to cheat are given expedited action and release of their cargo.
For those who still believe in importation of illicit substances and unregistered pharmaceutical products, as seen in the case of these 16 containers, the pains outweigh the gains.
The Drug Enforcement Agency of U.S., partnering with the NTA and Customs, offered training facilities for us. That goes to show you, and they're as concerned as we are too.
The containers intercepted between May and October this year came filled with cannabis indica, codeine-based products, and diclofenac sodium tablets imported from Canada, India, and United Kingdom.
Since the beginning of the year 2024, we have apprehended a total of 37 suspects, comprising 34 males and 3 females. And we have also secured over 20 convictions.
Just as the Utah season is around the corner, the Tinkan Island Port Command gave assurance of total support for compliance traders so as to ensure there is no delays in their cargo delivery. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
Now that's all from Lagos at this hour. The news will continue in Enugu with Comfort Anyim, but after the break.
Continue in Abuja. We'll join Enugu later. in the bulletin. The National Lottery Trust Fund has donated medical equipment worth millions of naira to the Kagoro Primary Health Care Center in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. The equipment were delivered by the Executive Secretary of the fund, Tosin Adeyonju, as part of presidential initiatives to bring succor to Nigerians as well as provide vital medical necessities to healthcare centers in communities across the country. Correspondent Lois Apollo reports.
Delivering the medical equipment, which include 5 delivery and 4 patients' beds, 2 microscopic machines and 5 large oxygen cylinders, air conditions and armchair seats, the Executive Secretary, National Lottery Trust Fund, Tosin Adeyonju, explained that the donation is part of President Tinubu's initiative to take development to the grassroots, which is extended to other sectors including sports and training of personnel in various fields.
President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has been able to remember your community. He's doing these interventions across several communities in Nigeria.
Receiving the items, Magajingarin Kagoro Jehugoni, who represented Chief of Kagoro at the event, appreciated the Lottery Trust Fund for the kind gesture and charged the health workers to put them to good use.
The person in charge of the clinic, with our staff, with everybody that works here, to be faithful and diligent in using this equipment.
To express our excitement and our joy for having these things brought to us. We are open to attend to everyone from whichever community he comes from.
The traditional and community leaders of the community expressed gratitude to the fund for the donation, which they said will lift the status of the facility for better service. Earlier on arrival, the team had paid a courtesy call on the Chief of Kagoro, Ufoi Bonnet, in his palace, where he commended them and prayed that the relationship established will continue. In Kafanchan, Lois Apollo, NTA.
Residents of Owerri, Imo State, have applauded the proposed inclusion of skills acquisition studies in the nation's basic education curriculum by the federal government. Obianuju Mosu reports that the respondents described the proposal as a welcome development aimed at reducing the high rate of unemployment in the country.
Federal government to create wealth, reduce reliance on white-collar jobs, as well as strengthen economic development, has started yielding positive results in Imo State. Through the Industrial Training Fund, the federal government has continued to provide opportunity for skills acquisition to residents of the state in areas like tailoring, hairdressing, furniture making, among other skills, which keep the participants gainfully engaged and self-reliant at the end of their training. According to some Owerri residents, this gesture, if extended to schools at the basic level, as being proposed by the federal government, will be a step in the right direction.
It has helped me a long way. In a day, I can be bold to make something like 10,000 naira.
After learning it, I can be able to start up my own business.
A lot of people don't have anything to do, but with this, I know people is going to acquire a lot of things.
Others made reference to other countries of the world where the practice is already in existence and how it has helped to build their economy while also addressing issues of personal development.
Introducing skills acquisition early in life as part probably of our curriculum in the schools. Yes, it should be encouraged. And I think the lowest place to begin to practice this is in the primary schools, because that's where the children begin to understand what it means to have one skill or the other.
The proposed introduction of skills acquisition training from basic level in schools by the federal government, many believe will help in no small measure towards molding the future of Nigerian children.
And Obianuju Mosu will be shedding more light on the federal government's efforts at empowering the people through skill acquisition programs. Hello, Obianuju, you are on.
Hello, Ogo. Good evening for having me.
Go ahead, tell us more about this.
Okay, from the report, you can see that in Imo State, the move to include skills acquisition in primary school and secondary school curriculum is being embraced. The respondents say it is a move in the right direction. They say it will help a child be formed early in life. It will reduce much reliance on white-collar job and relieve financial burden from families. And so also, it will make our society to be safe from crime, because once somebody is busy doing something, the person will not engage in crime. And economically, the person that learns these skills will contribute positively to the growth of our economy.
What about the target
So
audience,
that is why
the
they
students?
see it as a move that is welcomed.
Okay, you didn't tell us about the students, the target audience. How are they feeling about this? Are they embracing it too?
Yes, they are embracing it, because it's not all of them that will go to tertiary institution. Even if they did not, when they maybe finish from secondary, with the skills they acquired, they can start on their own and be self-reliant. So they also welcomed it.
Thank you very much, and succinctly, that is catching them young. Thank you very much, Obianuju. Now, to the election matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission has assured Ondo State residents of a peaceful and seamless conduct of the November 16 governorship election. The chairman was speaking at a stakeholders meeting held in Akure, Ondo State. Ifeoluwa Omoshule reports.
The forum provided an avenue for the electoral body to brief relevant stakeholders on the progress made so far towards the success of the November 16th governorship election in Ondo State. The Commission, while reiterating that the success of the election is hinged on the collaboration of concerned stakeholders in the state, also pleaded with the candidates to embrace peace for a smooth electioneering process.
INEC is not a political party. We have no candidate in this election. Only the people of Ondo State will decide who becomes their governor.
Let us make this election a very positive example of what is possible when we come together.
The governorship candidates solicited a credible election that would reflect the will of the people as they pledged to conduct themselves peacefully.
My primary mandate is to ensure the security and well-being of everyone. As a note that I took as a governor, that I will ensure that it continues.
Security stakeholders at the forum called on voters to come out en masse to cast their ballots, stating that 22,239 security personnel will be deployed to ensure the safety of voters and election materials during the exercise. In Akure, Ifeoluwa Omoshule, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party has inaugurated the Board of Governors of the People's Democratic Institute, the party's intellectual resource and research arm. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the institute's roadmap was unveiled by the Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde.
Inauguration of the Board of Governors of the People's Democratic Institute. Next was unveiling of the Institute's roadmap.
This unveiling serves as the renewal of the PDP pledge to start planning for governance and set out the blueprint to rebuild our nation.
Director General of the Institute, Dr. Edward Adie, disclosed that the 23-year-old institute is better repositioned to put PDP on the path of progress.
PDP was here for 16 years at the national level, and we are now in the opposition. It is important for us to also take seriously when we gain power, we need to learn how to sustain power.
PDP has always been a ruling party. It's a temporary position.
Leadership of the party across all organs promised renewed support to the revitalized People's Democratic Institute.
A number of our people who are in elective position, they have no idea what is the meaning of our People's Democratic Party. Let us desist from talking about who is running for councillor, or who is running for governor, or is running for president in 2027. Let us talk about what is PDP. If we have an engine room like the PDI, I think we would have moved a step further in consolidating the PDP.
The called for true reconciliation among PDP members going forward into the next off-cycle governorship election in Ondo State. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Katsina State Governor Diko Rada says his administration will scale up and sustain the already existing partnerships with professional bodies for mutually assured benefits and also to meet the 2030 agenda set for development of the state. The governor was speaking at the inauguration of the Northwest chapter of the Professional Women Accountants of Nigeria held in Katsina. Awal Haliru reports.
Women and girls empowerment stands as one of the key components of the Katsina State Development Agenda 2030, unveiled at high-powered retreat early this year. This therefore informed the desire of the Katsina State government to indicate interest in partnering with the Professional Women Accountants of Nigeria Northwest chapter. Represented by Deputy Governor Farouk Lawal, the governor congratulated the newly inaugurated executives of Prom 1 Katsina State chapter and taxed them on the ethics of the profession for the overall interest of the nation.
And as a government, we are identifying with this professional body by giving key appointments to their members.
Katsina State chapter of the Professional Women Accountants of Nigeria was inaugurated on the unveiling of Zone 1 of the Association for the Northwest.
Trust is always given to women.
We're going to try and put heads together with the professional organization, which is ANAN, our body, to help us grow up.
The partnership between the association and the Katsina State government demonstrates the state's growing influence in promoting good governance. In Katsina, Awal Halaru, NTA News.
FRSC strategizes to curtail road crashes. So we have this and another report from our Port Harcourt Network Center as we link up with Dibabari. Hello, Dibabari.
Port Harcourt, thank you, Ogo. 5 suspected port vendors have been paraded for their involvement in notorious vandalism of iron steel under the Kwa Apron Bird facilities at the Nigerian Ports Authority, Rivers Port, Port Harcourt. Commissioner of Police, Eastern Port Police Command, Jimo Ibrahim, paraded the suspects alongside other recovered exhibits. Emmanuel Lene reports.
The Abonema Wharf is one of the oldest ports in the country but has over time been underutilized. Unfortunately, some vandals have taken advantage of the abandoned port to vandalize critical facilities at the port. The latest is the arrest and parade of 5 suspected vandals whose stock in trade is the vandalism of the port facilities. The suspects, nabbed between 27th October to 2nd of November, were apprehended after being intercepted in a wooden boat with occupants on board and bearing some particles of steel iron suspected to have been vandalized from underneath quay apron of berths at the port. Other suspects were arrested for allegedly entering the berths with iron cutting equipment to vandalize the steel irons and pipe. Commissioner of Police, Eastern Ports Authority, Jimo Moshood, who paraded the suspects, said some of the suspects jumped into the river upon sighting the Marine Police, and efforts are on to arrest them.
During my last press briefing, I did promise the members of the press, the MP management, and the critical stakeholders and investors at the port of a safe and secure environment for marine commercial activities to continue to thrive unhindered throughout the Eastern Port. This has been achieved through implementation of a coordinated and sustained intelligence gathering, surveillance and observation patrol, vigorous patrol of the NPA waterfront by the Marine Police team.
Items recovered from the suspects include wooden canoes, gas cylinders with hose and camera long jack, as well as pieces of scrap iron. All the suspects will be charged to court immediately as investigations to arrest fleeing suspects are intensified. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
Federal Road Safety Corps Rivers State Command has called for attitudinal change among drivers and passengers as strategies to curtail road crashes during the Ember month. The sector commander, Inyang Edet Umo, gave the advice while briefing journalists on the events lined up for this year's Ember Month campaign. Ifeoma Mesa has the details.
Every year, the lives of people are cut short as a result of a road traffic crash. In line with this year's campaign, which is Speak Up Against Dangerous Driving, crashes kill more passengers than drivers. The River State Sector Commander noted that the 2024 Ember Month's road safety campaign is to engage passengers and encourage them to assert their rights, thereby curbing drivers' excesses.
We all grow up to hear that Ember months, September to December, are usually categorized with a plethora of crashes caused by blood-sucking demons. This perception is totally incorrect and out of tune with modern beliefs and norms. Our roads typically experience heavy traffic, congestion, road crashes, regrettably, the loss of life and properties. This situation is worsened by reckless behaviors of some of our motorists, creating environments for travelers, government agencies, stakeholders, including FRSC. The loss of lives and property is totally not acceptable for FRSC.
He also stressed the need for drivers and passengers to stay focused and be vigilant while on transit, adding that passengers must maintain high level of comportment so they do not distract the driver.
Road safety is a shared responsibility. Passengers must therefore speak out at any point they notice that their drivers are committing traffic infractions.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, which is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring safety on the road, has been making frantic efforts to ensure that road crashes is reduced in Port Harcourt. Ifeoma Omisa, NTA News.
Port Harcourt, the news will continue in Abuja right.
5 metallic ferry boats have been handed over to some riverine communities in Niger State to ease water transportation and check the frequent boat mishaps in the state. Fatima Usman reports that the boats were handed over to the benefiting communities at the Wuya River in Bako local government area of the state by the Community and Social Development Agency, facilitated by the state government. All right, that report couldn't make the bulletin. Okay, that's Nationwide today. Many thanks for watching.